The olives look fresh today.
We should buy some before they're gone.
After the bread stall, then.
Agreed.
Imagine walking through the streets of ancient Rome and seeing a color that everyone avoided completely. No decorações, no clothing, no artigo. That color? Blue. Seems strange, right? Today, blue is everywhere from the sky above to the jeans we wear. But for Romans, it was suspicious, even dangerous. Before we dive into this fascinating cultural mystery, hit that subscribe button to explore more hidden stories from history that challenge what we think we know. Blue wasn't just unpopular, it was actively avoided. Ancient Roman writers like Pliny the Elder mentioned blue as a color associated with barbarians and low status. Clothing dyed blue was often worn by slaves, and some historians argue that blue symbolized foreignness or even moral ambiguity. In Roman society, status and symbolism were everything. Red, purple, and gold were the prestigious colors, worn by emperors and senators. Blue, in contrast, had no such prestige. Some scholars suggest it wasn't merely aesthetic, it was tied to superstition. Romans associated it with the cold, the unnatural, and even the underworld. Modern research in color psychology offers insight here. Studies show that humans often develop cultural aversions to colors based on survival instincts or societal conditioning. For Romans, blue's rarity and the difficulty of producing lasting pigments may have amplified this fear or distrust. Unlike red or yellow, which could be derived from local plants and minerals, authentic blue dyes like lapis lazuli had to be imported from faraway lands, making them expensive and exotic, but also foreign. And in a society wary of outsiders, foreign equals unsafe.
To make a true brilliant blue, artisans had to import lapis lazuli. The stone was ground into a fine powder before dyeing cloth.
The economics of color played a huge role. Lapis lazuli, the primary source of true blue pigment, traveled thousands of miles from Afghanistan through trade networks fraught with risk and political tension. Only the wealthiest could afford it. But here's the twist. Even those who could afford blue often avoided it because of its foreign connotations. Think about it in today's terms. Imagine a luxury product that's so rare, everyone who uses it is instantly marked as an outsider. That's essentially what blue represented. Scholars like Marcia B. Hall have argued that the Romans' color hierarchy wasn't just aesthetic, it was a social control mechanism. By limiting who could wear certain colors, elites maintained clear lines between classes, insiders and outsiders, citizens and barbarians. If you're fascinated by the hidden ways culture shapes our perception of something as simple as a color, take a moment to like this video. It helps uncover more of these overlooked historical quirks.
Blue wasn't just rare, it was a commodity that carried meaning beyond its beauty. True blue pigment came from lapis lazuli, mined in what is now Afghanistan, and the journey to Rome spanned thousands of miles across deserts, mountains, and seas. Every step added cost, and every coin spent reinforced blue's status as something exotic, foreign, and unsettling. But here's the irony. Even those who could afford it often avoided it. Why? Because blue wasn't just expensive, it carried a symbolic warning. Wearing it marked someone as an outsider or even a social rebel. In a society obsessed with hierarchy, reputation, and order, that was risky. Modern historians suggest this wasn't just snobbery, it was a form of social control. By favoring reds, purples, and golds, Rome's elites communicated power, purity, and legitimacy. Blue, in contrast, was socially and psychologically taboo. Color psychology helps us understand why. Humans attach meaning to color almost instinctively. Reds signal warmth, urgency, or life. Blues evoke cold, calm, and sometimes unease. For Romans, these associations may have merged with superstition, making blue a symbol of spiritual uncertainty or moral ambiguity. It's fascinating to think that something as simple as a color could shape social behavior, trade, and even morality.
Blue may have evoked feelings of coldness, melancholy, or even spiritual unease. In ancient Rome, the gods of the underworld were often depicted with dark or muted shades. Blue may have been caught in the shadow. Interestingly, this aversion didn't last forever. By the medieval period, blue transformed in meaning. It became a symbol of purity in Christian iconography. The Virgin Mary is famously depicted in blue robes. The shift shows us how cultural context can completely invert a color's symbolism over centuries. Even today, this phenomenon continues. Marketing studies consistently show that colors influence perception, trust, and emotional response. Brands spend millions choosing the right shade because color triggers deep psychological associations, a principle the Romans unknowingly exploited centuries ago. So why did the Romans hate blue? The answer isn't simple. It's a mix of economics, superstition, social hierarchy, and psychological perception, a fascinating reminder that something as seemingly universal as a color is actually deeply cultural. Next time you wear your favorite blue jeans, pause for a second. You're participating in a cultural shift that began thousands of years ago, where a color once feared is now beloved. If this story made you see history through a new lens, share it with a friend, because sometimes the smallest details, like a color, reveal the biggest truths about a society.
And yet history is never static. By the medieval era, blue had transformed from taboo to sacred. Christian iconography cast the Virgin Mary in blue robes, signaling purity and protection. What was once feared became revered. Fast forward to today, and blue surrounds us: our clothes, our screens, our brands. Yet, every time we embrace blue, we're unknowingly participating in a centuries-long cultural journey, one that began with Romans cautiously avoiding it and evolved into universal appreciation. It's a powerful reminder that the things we take for granted, colors, symbols, even social norms, carry stories far older and deeper than we realize. Something as ordinary as a shade of blue can reveal the fears, hierarchies, and transformations of entire civilizations. So next time you slip into your favorite blue shirt, pause for a moment. Imagine the journey of that color across time, space, and culture. Share this story with someone curious about the hidden histories around them, and keep exploring. The past is full of surprises waiting to be discovered.